name is Devyani Isabel Gupta. I work for North Slope Vineyard Management Company in Milton Freewater, Oregon. I definitely inherited the way my parents think and the way they problem solve. And my parents always encouraged me to be confident in those skills. My classmates, when I was in kindergarten and first and second grade, played with Barbies, and I played with Tinker Toys and Legos. And I was allowed to really thrive in that sense. And my mom, when she was in architecture school, she was one of 2 women who graduated. They've always encouraged me to be tough, be assertive, and be okay with being the problem solver in the group, being the person that speaks up and says, I have the answer, I have the solution, and not being afraid of being a woman who is comfortable with numbers. I didn't realize how much I loved being in an agricultural area until I moved to Walla Walla in 2011 for school. And that's really what exposed it to me, was that there was this whole thriving industry. And of course, growing up in Portland, there is the Willamette Valley industry close by, but it just felt far enough to have to drive an hour from where I lived versus being out here and immersed for school. Where I got most excited was walking through vineyards and checking out the cellar with the owners of the tasting room I was working for. And they were very encouraging of my questions. They would take me out to their estate vineyards. We'd do walkthroughs, and these are incredibly busy owners who would make time for my questions. And they were so helpful and also just critical for making me feel like I could test the waters and learn more. I guess what I've learned is kind of twofold. On the one hand, it did feel a little bit harder to access by not being a part of an agricultural family. I don't have that kind of behind me and on my side, and so I did have to think about things a little differently. You know, for example, do you drive a stick shift? You know, if you're going to learn to drive a tractor, you need to learn to drive stick shift, and also, I mean, I love driving forklift, but that's something that I don't think anyone I went to high school with in downtown Portland is doing right now. So there's some of that mentality shift. But for me, that's been the easier part. The best part about it has been that people who do come from long-standing agricultural families kind of see data nerds like me and kind of welcome me with open arms and don't mind the fact that there's a lot that I need to learn. I'd say for the Step one is, even if you are a little bit of a shyer person, just fake it. Don't be shy. Go introduce yourself to people, get out there, and also just always be looking around. You know, I was working in the tasting room, but I had this interest and I had this passion. And if I had just been focused on what I'm doing, I'm gonna go to grad school, I'm gonna get a job in my major, I wouldn't have been listening to people like Norm, who were there to help me basically learn more about what I want. So that's my main advice, is don't be afraid to look around, ask questions. If you're even remotely interested in it, try it out. You don't need to be set in anything, and it never hurts to just introduce yourself to somebody and test out an internship. I mean, that's really what internships are there for. They're this sort of stepping stone in any career that hopefully will end up in a job.